Hello, I built this table saw stand for my saw stop a few weeks ago. It works great, but there's a few things I didn't think through at the time and need to sort out now. The first thing is how the saw is attached to the base, or how it's not attached to the base. It's just sat here. It's got a fair bit of heft to it, this saw, so it's not moved around, but I want to get it locked into place. What I have though is the stand that came with the saw, and this has some little brackets that the saw base would fit into, so I think I can utilise them. First job then is to get these taken off the base. And get these feet put into place, and then I'm going to draw around them with a pencil and get the holes drilled for the screws. I've had to grab some longer screws than what came with this to do it. So now I can get them screwed in from the underside. This is on here so much better now, and I can move it around by the actual table saw, but I can still take it off easily for cleaning and anything I want to do, like take it outside to use. Now, I've left a gap between the back of the table saw and the outfeed table, and that is for two reasons. The first, there's a little tool storage in here, which means I can still get it and get things out. And the second is the next problem on my list, and that's dust extraction. So on the back of the saw, you've got a dust port, a 63mm one. So I had a reducer that went into that, and then my dust hose went into that, so you can see how far it sticks out the back of the saw. That did not work with my stand. I did not think it through, but I reckon I've got a solution. What I have is some 63mm hose. So this should go onto the port, and then I've got some spring clips to lock it into place there. Now I've got all this excess hose coming out the side, so I'm going to snip it down, probably flush with the side of the cabinet. Then I can fit the dust port reducer on, get that locked into place with another spring clip, and then my hose should fit on from the dust extractor. Now, to hook the dust extraction up, I just pull this port out the side, grab my hose, and it pushes on. Simple. I should have thought it through when I built the thing, but this solution, I think it's actually worked out probably better. So while I'm here, let me tell you where this hose goes to and my dust extraction setup. So I have a dust separator, a DeWalt one. I really like this because I've made my own in the past, buying the top and buying a barrel, but this is short. It fits under my bench. Means it has slightly less capacity, but in a small workshop I find this absolutely fine. It came with wheels, which are kind of optional, so I took them off just to make it even shorter, and it fits under the bench with room to spare. And then this goes into a little pneumatic vac. This is quite low powered, so I think it's about 600 watt. I could use something more powerful, and I've actually got one on order because when I use my thicknesser, that needs a much more powerful extractor. So it's on back order at the moment from Axminster. So when it comes, I'll show you that. But for sanding, table saw, this works really well. The next thing on my list is the mitre gauge. So I feel you can build a table like this with two different heights. You can either have the table just marginally higher than the outfeed table so things slide onto it, or you can do it higher so when you push the mitre gauge through, it clears the table. I prefer the first option so that the working height's roughly the same if I want to use this as a table, put something big on it for doing something else. Now, when I just put this on those blocks to secure it, it didn't actually lift the table up at all because this sits on rubber blocks. So yeah, it hits the outfeed. So my plan was to get the router and cut some little channels in the outfeed table for this to go into, but I'm not sure I need to now because of this gap I have. When I raise the blade up, I can see that the mitre gauge actually goes past it. So I think I don't need to do anything, and I have the option of routing some slots in here in the future if I want to. But what I can sort out is some storage for the mitre gauge, and I think I've got this nice back of the unit with this overhang, and it will fit on the back perfectly here. What I think I could do is I have a bit of scrap wood I can use to go under it as a shelf. I just need to notch out a little slit for the mitre bar to go into. So I'm going to get it marked out and then get the waste removed. So I think that's it all done. One of my missions for this year was to sort out the efficiency of the workshop. Having a table saw and a mobile base definitely helped, but I had to live with it for a while. A few weeks to work out all the little niggles, the little things that needed doing, and I think today we sorted them out, and this now should work really well. So now just to move on to the next job on my list. So thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, and please subscribe for more videos.
Thank you.